Welcome back to the press. The press is our program where we examine the major headlines of newspapers for the day, and it's a broadcast from KAFTAN television, and it's reaching you from the Abuja station, from the Center of Unity, the Federal Capital Territory. And once again, my name is Dayo, Omogun. I have my guest right now. He's one that you're very familiar with. He's one that many of you have said we probably should give some gallants, some flowers, some award. And his doctorate is very close by, so I call him Dr. Richard Oriri. You're welcome.
It's my pleasure having me.
Thank you for coming. Now, there are quite a number of headlines, interesting headlines this morning, and one of them is about the fact that after all the furore, after all the hulabaloo, the tax reform bills seem to be making progress. Like they have passed two of them, and a major highlight is that VAT is still retained at 7.5%, while I guess company income tax is at 30%. So that's where that is. There is the story coming from Benue, your Benue, that the governor is refusing the House of Reps invitation and is going to court to challenge why he should be invited in the first instance. And as if he had the speakers of assemblies on queue, they have also said that inviting him is an overreach of constitutional authority. If I understand that, that means the House of Reps does not have that kind of power. So that's another one. And then NEL Fund, the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, says that they have spent 54 billion naira for 293,000 students in 303 is that correct? Institutions. And so where is it now? It's here somewhere. In any case, they are saying that there's no fraud anywhere, and that they've actually spent money to take care of our students. For 293,000 students, they've spent 54 billion. And then you also have the ongoing war in the Labour Party, where the Abure-led faction says it has suspended Governor Oti, Senator Riti Kingibe, Nwokocha, and some other people. And in the meantime, the other faction is saying Abure should stop parading himself as chairman because he is no longer the chairman as far as they are concerned. Only maybe time will show us where exactly Labour Party is headed with all this crisis and action and counter actions every day. And then you also have the federal government asking that as much as possible the media should cut down the activities of the publicity given to terrorists, so that we don't unwittingly begin to help their evil activities. Basically, those are the main ones. And then Jonathan is also saying that we should be careful not to try to entrench a one-party state. By the way, also, there's a piece that says that 21 out of 24 defectors in the House of Representatives moved to the APC. So only 3 out of those 24 went to other parties. That is quite instructive. So you want to begin with whatever you can take from any one of these, and let's flow together. And like I said to you, in a few moments from now, you also will be able to call into the show. So let's hear our analyst.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, Nigerians.
You're welcome.
We have very salient topics for discussion today. and they are all national issues that borders our security, economy, and too many other national security issues. First and foremost, the first headline there is about tax reform bill, where 2 out of many have been passed by the National Assembly, both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Yes, before now, we all know that that executive bill that went to the National Assembly, from the Alibalus that followed it, we know quite well that majority of the bills in that reform will be passed. And this is 7-point-something%, they call it value added tax. Yes, that is to the benefit of majority of all Nigerians, yes. Because if you are earning less than not above 1 million, you are not supposed to pay tax. Exactly. And if your business in a year you don't have up to 1 million naira profit, you are not supposed to.
If you don't even have up to, is it 25 million turnover?
You're not supposed to pay tax.
Like that,
That one is to encourage small and medium scale businesses. So it's quite encouraging.
Right.
And the other one of 30%, which is for bigger companies, I think that is encouraging too, to enable government generate more income in order to fund other critical economy, other critical areas of the economy. So it's okay. The step taken so far is encouraging. It's encouraging because presently, despite all the resources we have, we are still lagging behind in terms of fund. And if you see what is happening in the oil sector from the external distance, we were told that the price of fuel, Brent crude, has dropped to 50-something against 70-something naira that was projected for budget 2025 budget. So we need some of these things in order to match up. And then the issue of Benue governor and National Assembly. Benue State governor challenging the authority of National Assembly, inviting him to come before the National State, especially House of Representatives. I think both the executive in Benue and the legislatures in Benue, they seems not to understand how the Nigerian Constitution runs, because the House of Representatives, not the Senate, is like a mini Nigeria. Both the state executive, the state legislatures, even the national executive body, which is the presidency, they check all of them within the law of Nigeria. And in a democratic setting like this, the powers given to the National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives, in checks and balances, if there's no such check, the executive, they will overreach their bearing.
But the speakers are saying that it is the House of Reps who are overreaching their
It is not the House of Reps that is overreaching. If they look at it, the three angles of accountability in a democratic setting, one is the vertical angle. Vertical angle to accountability in democracy is within the reach of the electorate. That one, after 4 years, as you are going back, for the electorate to either reconsider you for second tenure, that is when vertical accountability will be measured on you, whether you are still fit to be voted in again for second tenure. But if you go to the diagonal angle, the diagonal angle is the media. The diagonal role of accountability in democracy, media, civil society organization. Then if you go to the other one, diagonal, vertical, and what is the third one?
Horizontal.
The horizontal angle to it is where this executive body check the SSCs of the legislature, especially these government institutions. They check the SSCs of each other. The legislature check the excesses of the executive. That checks and balances, and it reaches down to even the governors. When I say that they have, like now in Benue State, what is happening in Benue and Zamfara State, that is complete eclipse of democracy going on in Benue and in Zamfara. Presently now, eclipse of democracy, that is an insult on democracy. What is going on in Benue and what is going on in Zamfara State is an insult on democracy. In Benue today, about 13 out of how many members, House of Assembly members, they were suspended from the House of Assembly, and they are representative of the people. That is, you can target to say there is no executive, there is no legislature in Benue State. I think there is no legislative arm in Benue State. The executive will overreach their bearings, and there is no democracy. Yeah. And if you go to Zamfara State, over how many, about 10 of the members of House of Assembly in Zamfara State, they are under suspension by the arrangement from the arrangement that the governor agreed with the House of Assembly members who are on his side to suspend the other 10 members. And if you look at it very critically, if such number of persons will be suspended for months, that is to say, you have shut the door of representation against the people that they are represented. And that is not democracy. It's happening in Benue and it's happening in Zamfara. Until this National Assembly step in to check this aberration, there is no how democracy will be in place, completely in place in Benue and in Zamfara. It's an abuse.
In fact, what really makes democracy very unique and have character is the legislature.
It's the legislature.
Once the legislature is not there,
there is no democracy.
Exactly. So
there's no democracy. Because as it is now, even the 2025 budget that has been passed in Benue and in Zamfara, who are the people to oversee the expenditure? Because the role of the legislature, the role of the legislature is to oversighting and lawmaking. If this angle of the legislature, this arm of government in Benue is 80%, 90% off the bar, then there's no government in place. And if you go to Zamfara, then there's no government. If the National Assembly should fold their hands, it means they want democracy to crash. And what is happening in Benue, if not corrected, what is happening in Zamfara, if not corrected, it will get to the entire country. If you look at what is going on presently in Nigeria, total eclipse of democracy. Because the ingredients, indices of democracy is being abused by these elites. Almost not just the state, but even across the federation, even at the national level here. The elites, they are over-abusing democratic norms and values. So the invitation is in order.
As far as you're concerned.
As far as I am concerned, as far as Nigerian constitution law is concerned. And that is why, even when, was it Wike or who said, was in National Assembly can take over your state assembly and make law for your state. The National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives, can take over the role of your state assembly.
It doesn't mean that it can take over the governor's role.
Once they are taking the role of the House of Assembly of your state, they are automatically in charge of the checks of your activities as the executive body. So that is what is going on. So as far as I am concerned, as far as Nigerian law is concerned, they have the right, National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives, have the right to invite the governor and the House of Assembly to come before it and explain why these members were suspended and for how many months that they will not call them back. So they cannot fold their hands and allow democracy to be destroyed. All of us, we are clamoring and praying that democracy should be sustained in Nigeria.
Is that not like pointing at the speck in another man's eye when you have a log in your own eye?
Not at all. Not at all. Now they have, yes, they just case of Natasha in the Senate. Yes, they are on it. Natasha is one. House of Assembly, the National Assembly, especially the Senate, they have 109 members. Out of 109 members, Natasha is the one suspended. She's not the first person that was suspended. She's just one person, and that one has no link to even the president. Natasha's issue has no link to the president. This one, in the case of Benue State, the governor asked the House of Assembly to suspend the head of judiciary, who is the Chief Justice of the state.
Yeah, Chief Judge.
He asked that they should suspend him to enable him to give him vote of no confidence, to enable him sack him. How? Okay, now these other members that were suspended said they distanced themselves from that arrangement, that they cannot be part of what will make the Chief Justice of the state to be suspended by the executive. We have three arms of government in democracy, and you, as the head of the executive, cannot suppress both the legislature and the judiciary. You can't suppress them. You are operating independency. So the judiciary, they are independent of their own, the legislature, they are independent of their own, and you, as the head of the executive, you are elected. Yes. And that is why even the members of the House of Assembly, they are all elected, and they are the true representation of the people. And that is why they must approve the budget. Any penny that you have to spend as the executive head must be approved by the Assembly members. And if you come to National Assembly, by the National Assembly members, before the executive, we have powers, constitutional powers, to spend 1 naira. The Constitution has given them this right, this authority, this power, and you cannot, because you are the head of the executive, having the authority and power being given to you by the Constitution to spend these funds on behalf of Nigeria after approval by the executive arm, by the legislative arm. Then you now say that they are appendage of you, and you can do and undo. For close to 2 years now, the State Assembly in Benue State, all the members, they are sitting on plastic chairs. They have no place to even legislate for the people. They have no place, no roof to legislate for the people. They are sitting on plastic chairs. That is, they are just like stooge in the hand of the governor. That is not democracy. The same constitution that have given him his power is the same constitution that have given them their powers. So you can run to the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court that interprets the law, yes, in the democracy, is right to go to the court.
Yeah.
And it's the same court that he is abusing in Benue. There has not been any law, any ruling of any court in Benue State that the governor has obeyed. And he's running to the same judiciary to give him justice. And he's not seen to be obeying rulings of court. There was a ruling by Justice Goche, that the executive, the ESCO, APC ESCO in Benue State, led by Comrade Austin Agada, is the authentic. He went ahead, he disrespected that order, and he's respecting the caretaker committee in charge of a state executive of APC in Benue State against the ruling of the court. You understand? So what is going on in Benue State is total abuse of power by the executive. So he can go to court and seek for justice. The Supreme Court that I know will explain to the governor that the National Assembly have powers to invite him, to come and talk to them, to come and explain to them what he is doing in this direction. So the law is very clear. He can go to Supreme Court, no problem.
All right. I knew that you will be very passionate about this.
Issue of mess fund. Issue of mess fund. Yeah. There's no one mess fund will come to tell Nigerians that there's corruption in that institution.
That there is no corruption.
There's no how they will come to the public.
Oh, okay, to come and tell us that.
To tell the Nigerian people that there is corruption.
Okay.
They can't say it. Over how many billion naira expended for how many months? In 118 universities or how many universities? Just for about how many thousand students?
293,000.
293,000 naira. Money has been
students.
Students. So that's not how they will come to tell us that there's a corruption in that sector.
So the searchlight should be put on the place.
Until independent body go in to investigate the allegation. You cannot see in law. I am not a lawyer, but elementary law from the university for your first year, GST.
Yes.
General studies. We were taught elementary law.
Yes.
And there are two basic laws of natural justice. Two basic rules of natural justice. One, you cannot be judging your case. And the other one says, you must hear from both sides of every case, every issue before you judge.
Yeah.
In Latin word they put it, aude alteram paten. And the other one is numen judes et causa sua. These are the two major principles of the two major principles of natural justice. So in this case now, they are sitting as judges in their case. And that is why they have to exonerate themselves, but there is no corruption. No independent body have gone in to investigate the allegation. Until independent body go in to investigate that allegation of corruption.
Give them a clean bill of health.
That's it. But anything coming from them that have been accused of this corruption, coming on air again to tell Nigerians that there is no corruption, then you see what we are talking about.
But again, there's no way they can just keep quiet when they have been touched with.
But they should go before a panel to claim themselves. They should go before a panel.
They're not also going to set up a panel.
Set up the panel, but not at all.
So
there is no the agency. I think Ministry of Education is overseeing the activities. So the Minister of Education have to set up either a panel that will investigate them and possibly suspending those in charge now, and they should investigate it. Before Nigerians will know that what they are saying is true or not true. So for this, it's just mere paperwork, and no sane person can take what they have said. That. You understand? So that's just it. The other one, Labour Party matter. Labour Party, Abure fashion, suspending almost all the elected officials in Labour Party. The only governor in Labour Party, Alex Oti, His Excellency Alex Oti, suspended. My friend, Chief Ambo Bioga, the House of Representative member representing Umumoche and Nusukwato also, Abia State, suspended, and so many other persons suspended. I think what is going on in Labour Party, their internal crisis is not doing the best thing to Nigerians. It's not good for Nigerians. But the position taken by this faction of Abure, what they are doing is to save their own self as well from the crash that is looming. And from the Supreme Court ruling, from the beginning, even after that ruling, I was on the side of Abure. That if you look at the ruling of the Supreme Court, you see clearly that Abure remains the chairman. Because even this Nedami Usman that is saying Abure should hide his head in shame or something like that, Nedami Usman was not known to be a member of Labour Party. Abure was elected, and the election that brought Abure in as chairman of national chairman of Labour Party was I can't call it supervised. Was INEC was there as an observer, and INEC knew that from the time that Abure was elected, whether in Delta or somewhere, there has not been any other election of the national chairman, and the tenure has not expired. And for that reason, that faction of Labour Party is the one INEC will recognize.
Do you still think so now?
Yes, now Nenad Usman was appointed by another faction led by the OT group as caretaker chairman of the party. And this Abure faction, they are seeing the OT faction, Oblit faction, Nenad Usman faction as foreigners coming to take over their land, just like the Meridas now coming from the other countries of the world into Nigeria to sacking citizens from their ancestral homes and taking over their lands. So they are seeing them as foreigners coming to take over the party from them, and they are the original owners of this party that have been sustaining the party. They only gave these people a platform to run election in 2023. And because they have elected them...
But Doc, let's look at this. How come one judgment, one declaration by the Supreme Court is creating... I'm sorry, but it's creating confusion. It's being interpreted in 3 different ways. That's why Apapa, I think Apapa, yes, is laying claim to the chairmanship. Abure is laying claim to the chairmanship. Nenadi Usman is laying claim to the position, and all of them are holding on to the judgment. How is that possible?
What is this? That the judgment was clear that the appeal court and the other lower court have no right to meddle into internal crisis of the party.
Good.
And that the elected officials of that party, that is the executive body standing them, they have the power, the right to decide who their leaders are. And if you look at what has happened, even before Apapa came to be laying claim to the national chairman of Labour Party, Abure had already been elected. From collectively, even with this endorsement, with all of these people's endorsement, whether in data. And for that reason, that is the recognized executive body of the party. And that is why INEC had no other option than to recognize that fashion of the party. I am not a member of Labour Party. None of them is my friend. I am looking at it from the perspective that I know that is the right thing. Nenadi was appointed as caretaker committee chairman. And Abure and Apapa, they have been in a loggerhead. Apapa have been fighting Abure. They are not, both of them, they were members of Labour Party from the beginning. They are all old members of Labour Party. But Apapa was fighting Abure from the wrong side. When
there are suggestions that Apapa is being used by some forces, by some to torpedo the party. Yes. So from this ruling now, the ruling has narrowed down to Abure. Abure's face, nobody may like his face. But from the ruling of Supreme Court, based on the Constitution? Based on the Constitution, both the party Constitution and the national Constitution of Nigeria. And the judgment.
Abure remained the chairman until his tenure elapsed and they come together to elect a new person. Abure remains the chairman.
Has his tenure not elapsed?
That, and if the tenure has not elapsed, if the tenure has elapsed, INEC will not recognize him. Or INEC will give directive that body of the party should either conduct another fresh election for another new executive of the party, or they should go into NEC and constitute either caretaker or any committee, which INEC will come to monitor. You understand? As far as I'm concerned, and as far as the law is concerned, the only authentic national chairman of Labour Party is Abure, whose position as national chairman was observed by INEC. Apapa's emergence as national chairman of Labour Party, INEC know nothing about it. INEC is just is a body that oversees the activities of political party according to our constitution. And if you are conducting a national election of your party, even state election, INEC have to send representative to oversee what you are doing. If it is in line with your constitution and the constitution of Nigeria, then they will adopt it. As far as I am concerned, and as far as any same person is concerned, Abure remains the authentic national chairman of Labour Party. And that is what is going on. These other people, they are forcing themselves. They can wait for Abure's tenure to elapse. And they can use diplomacy to play around with him until they can find a way to push him out. The same thing happened in NNPP. where the main owners of NNPP welcome. Yes, now. Yes. Party in Nigeria, especially
owned.
So
parties are owned.
People who form the party, they own the party.
Wow.
They are the gladiators. These gladiators are the ones who funding political parties with their resources. You understand? They own the party. And like NNPP brought in the Kwakwasiya group from Kano, giving them tickets, and now they have governor. For the fact that they have governor, and Kwakwasiya is now the leader of the party, they want to take over the party from the real owners, and they resisted it. And now as it is, they have the other self-fashion, they have conducted their national decision, and they have their authentic national recognized by INEC. Now the Kwakwasiya group, they are like floating. And that is why in many minutes from now, you see the Kwakwasiya group either joining NPC. So now, see what is going on in Nigeria generally. The other minority parties that are now occupying position of government is like a business center for those who establish the party. Yes, it's like business center for those of them that establish the party, and they are just there waiting for who will be aggrieved from the major party to come to them and then bill you. You pay them and give you ticket.
Please.
They are not sincerely there. They are not sincerely there to strengthen democracy.
The party or democracy, all right?
They are not sincerely there to strengthen democracy. Other minority parties, they are not. That is why even when I make it trim them down to 18, I was happy. I equally say they should even still trim them down to either 2.
No.
Or 3.
The
best thing that will happen to Nigeria is 2-party system.
So the best thing, the IBB era.
The best thing that will happen in Nigeria is when we have 2-party system, just like America, 2-party system, and they can allow for independent candidacy. 2-party system will make Nigeria very strong, and it will make the democracy to be strengthened. If we are not, that is when ideology will come into political party arrangement. But as it is now, no ideology. Is about self and about your godfather and about your pocket and nothing more. And that is destroying democracy in the country.
Let's go on a break, and when we get back from the break, we will open the phone lines so that many of you who are itching to be a part of this can ride with us after the break.
Some say Nigeria's 26-year political sojourn, now in its fourth republic, is a story of a navigator exploring a particularly difficult terrain. Can the nation scale the hurdles ahead, or will the headwinds be too much? Join me, Segun Ojelade, as I ask the difficult questions, moderate uncensored debates, razor-sharp analysis, and unveil the truth shaping our democracy on the program Politics 004, showing KAFTANTV. Politics 004, Policy and Politics. Join us.
When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging, we know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they gave us a high price.
Welcome back. You're still on to the press, and it's coming to you from King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network Television, otherwise known and more popularly known as KAFTAN Television. And We've been talking about a whole lot of the headlines today. My guest has been doing justice to the issues as far as is concerned. For example, he believes that the National Assembly has a right to summon any governor on matters of national importance, and that the resistance, the disagreement by the governor of Benue State is not in good taste as far as is concerned. He also touched on the fact that you have quite a number of members of the State House of Assembly who've been on suspension, and then if you have many or most of members of the State of House of Assembly on suspension, how can you still talk about democracy? Yeah, and then it's also said that NEL fund needs to be probed, and that what they are saying to us is totally not acceptable, except since an allegation has arisen, the needful should be done. The matter should be brought to a logical conclusion with a probe as far as is concerned. And he's asking the Minister of Education to set up a committee to take a look at the records, the financial dealings of the NEL fund. Meanwhile, by the way, NEL fund stands for Nigerian Education Loan Fund. It's a fund set up under the Tinubu administration to assist indigent students to acquire higher education. And these are some of the things my guest, Dr. Oriri, has talked about. And now you have an opportunity also to call in. 080-299-38365 is the number. It's on the screen right now. And then let's have your own take also, so that even as we continue. Yeah, so you have, I know that you, on this matter of terrorists being given publicity, you have spoken somewhere before. And then even the matter of the summit that the National Assembly proposed, the federal government is not in agreement with them. You want to weigh in on that?
Yes, the position of the presidency is my position too.
Right.
Yes, because no country of the world that would want her name to be dented. And as it is, issue of national security is not something you bring to the media all the time. I remember there was a time one of my lecturers at the Nile University is an Indian professor, Professor Allah Awam. Something happened in India. There was a time terrorists attacked one a church. They were going for one church program, and terrorists attacked them on the way, killed some persons. He told me, Richard, you see this that has happened in India? Do you see it in any media? That media don't publicize this kind of a thing because it will not do your nation any good. But there's no that does not mean that the security apparatus of the country will not wage in. They will wage in to see how they make it on the board. But bringing it out, you are destroying the image of your country. National image is very important, very key to any nation. You don't discuss sensitive national security matters on national television. Again, you are presenting yourself to your enemies that you are weak, security-wise. And international politics depends on what? Military power and economic power. Once they see the weaknesses that you have, they will capitalize on that. Every nation of the world, they want to suppress the other nation. No one is coming to you to see you that you are his friend. They are their friend. No, they are coming to you to suppress you. There's any nation will come to another nation and see that you are their superior. He is pressing to be a superior. So when you bring such thing out, you are rather bringing yourself down that you have weaknesses in this area. And Nigerians, like the other day, the House of the Senate, we are debating about a national security summit, how the security of this country has overwhelmed them. And soon now, these terrorists will overrun FCT, that they are going through Niger State, Kogi, and all of this, that they are everywhere in the bush and all of this. These people, they are sent by these foreign powers. Most of them, they are being aided and assisted by internal enemies of the country. Some citizens who are enemies of the country, that is, we call them in-house enemies. They are the ones showing them rude ways. And possibly as a result of poverty, that they have to do something to survive. And some of these terrorists, even our military, the other day we saw where some military personnel were arrested by DSS in Kaduna, who was funding and selling arms, even ammunition to terrorists. They were arrested by DSS in Kaduna. This was it last month or so. You understand? So the majority of them in the country now trying to suppress our security, they are not Nigerians, they are foreigners. And what is happening, you see, some of these states where this terrorist attack is hardened, they have serious natural and mineral resources. And mining is going on in some of these states where this crisis is going on, this security issue is going on. If you go to Jos, Plateau State, most part of Plateau State, they are rich in mineral resources and miners are there, and majority are foreigners. Mining this, and until they wipe out the community or push them out, even where some communities are living, even where some communities are occupying, beneath the ground is mineral resources. Until you push them out, you can't have access to it. So they are being sponsored. If you go to even Nasarawa, some part of Benue, for some time now, the Chinese people, they have been taking uranium from Benue in large quantity and shipping it. China's, they have their seaport in Lagos, not managed, not controlled by Nigerian even immigration or anything. They have their seaport where they take this thing out of the country. What they are bringing in, we don't know. What they are taking out, we don't know. In the night, you see trucks from Benue State loading natural resources in large quantity. You see over 30-40 trucks loading from Benue State uranium. They use it for what? Manganese, all this manganese. They use it for atomic bomb. So Nigeria is rich in mineral resources that we don't even know what to do with them. If you go to Kogi, if you go to even Niger State, it's still the same thing. Beneath the ground is rich in minerals. So some of these people that they are bringing in, sacking communities, it's not normal. So we all know what is going on in our various communities. It's not right for the Senate to come to public discussion and be telling the world our weaknesses.
By the way, Doctor, is it a question of summits? We have held all kinds of summits.
No result.
We have had all kinds of...
it's a waste of resources.
Whatever meetings, whatever high-level, high-powered delegation, high-powered committees, all kinds of names.
Waste of resources. Those who are supporting the summit, they know that if the Senate is organizing summit, they'll make money out of it.
I think that's
until you organize either summit or now what they do is training. All this training, that one, EFCC will not even know that the money that they push into it was siphoned. They don't go in deep. Training, fund released for trainings, they are properly for stealing. That is the truth.
And it should not be so, because we actually need the training. Our people need the training.
The normal training we need, like yesterday I was discussing with somebody. Any nation that wants to be great, they fund research.
Exactly.
US now have increased their budget, defense budget, to $1 trillion. $1 trillion, the heftiest, the highest in the history of America. And majority, about 70% of this $1 trillion is going to research in military hardwares and others. It's for research. China, the same thing. China increased their own about 7% above before. But US is 12% above before. These are the areas where countries, nations, shows their strength. Military strength, that is defense strength, then economic strength. And in Nigeria, we don't even care, we don't even bother ourselves about research. Now, FEC just approve a home first, Nigeria first product. That is to say, everyone now in Nigeria, all the ministries, agencies, you have to buy Nigerian product first. But before the approval of this, before this approval, what are the parameters of arrangement on ground? You know, in those days, education succeeded in the West because Awolowo first made arrangement. He started by training teachers, then putting infrastructures before they start
the program.
Training of teachers first, so they have human capital first on ground. Then they have the infrastructures first on ground before they started the program. And education succeeded in the West. When Nnamdi Azikiwe tried it in the East, there was no training of teachers first, no recruitment of teachers and training them first on ground, no proper infrastructure. They just jump into it and it fails. In the North, there wasn't even anything as such.
Right.
And that is why you see today, now, if you don't have such plans, like now, if they say home first, that is industrialization.
Exactly.
And that is what we have been clamoring for. Industrialization. Before you can industrialize Nigeria, if you go to Anambra, what the government did first was to set up industrial zone, put infrastructures, road network, water system in the area, electricity in those areas. Put those infrastructures. Then those who want to invest, who want to establish companies, they now go and be allocated portion of the land in that area. But in Nigeria, like now, if federal government had this intention before, what they should have done, they should have at least in each of the states of the federation put these infrastructures, industrial zone. You see, citizens who have the fund, they will go and acquire portions of land in such areas and come up. Either you go to produce plastic chairs, your own indigenous company. You can go say you are producing slippers. Another person will have his own portion. You establish your company. You are producing either glass. Another person will go. You produce exercise books. Another person. That is industrialization. But as it is now, they just announce it. Where do we have these industries? No, in Abuja here, we have a place called industrial zone. What you do industrial area. If you go there, FCT arrangement captured that plan. If you go to Benue State presently now, the Benue State governor, he has established a place around the Zangbo side, industrial zone. They just laid the foundation some days ago. And we are putting infrastructures for industry in that zone. They go to that zone, that industrial zone. You will go and put up your company there. In those days when we used to be to visit Anambra in Onitsha, the whole of almost Awada area, all this upper Weka side, they are industrial areas. Right. You go there and see people producing polythene bags, different things. Oh, no. As it is now, we are not. What the Federal Executive Council has done is a welcome development, but they did not start well. They have these plans from first year of this administration. We are in second year of the administration. From the first year, they should have come up with this arrangement, even within themselves. Proactive measure. They put up infrastructural facilities in all the states. They can set no state you go to that federal government is in need of land for industrial zone that the state governor will not provide. They'll provide the industrial.
Let's take this person, the first and only thus far. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, you're welcome to KAFTANTV, the press.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little about the invitation of the governor of the state.
Yeah, please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
To this issue now.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello?
Tell us your name first and where you're calling from.
Collins
Okay.
from Benue State.
All right, then go.
I want to thank the analyst in the studio.
Okay.
If you look to this issue now, from the initial stage, we look at it from a perspective that its insecurity was politicized. And the way it has gone now, it has gone beyond handling. Now, if really wants to take care of this insecurity, one thing we have to do is this. More of these insecurity issues was brought about this assessment, whether we like it or yes. And if you look to all these Fulanis, most of them, they are not from Nigeria. If really wants to take care of this issue, let our immigration, our customs, and all the security apparatus that is scheduled to take care of every foreigners be at alert. Even those ones in the bush, both in the town, if they begin to check them with their security aspect, you will get to know that most of these people, they are not Nigerians. And they just came to make money and destroy and go. Not until we get all these things in place, take it or leave it, there is nothing we can do.
All right.
Yesterday, about 2 people were killed in Nasa here. They were chased from their farm. The other one that narrowly escaped them was shot. Just for the grace of God, the gun couldn't enter in. But the 2 corpses are now in the mortuary yesterday evening. All this thing was brought about because of the problem we are having politically in every state and all whatever. Let's just look to these things and start tackling it. This thing has gone beyond politicking. If we don't stop it, it will definitely get to them at the top one day.
All right, Collins.
We at the grassroots, we are suffering this thing. We can't go to the farm now. I'm supposed to go to farm this morning. I can't go.
All right, Collins, thanks for your contribution. So, you heard him.
Like you said, and that is what Donald Trump is doing in America. He said most of the crises they are having, they are not internal. That they are external. Foreigners who have found their way into America, they are the ones causing crisis in America. And that's why this issue of deportation is in place. He's sanitizing the country. He came up in his first tenure, he came up with the idea of fencing.
Yeah.
You understand? I have been agitating and clamoring for fencing of this country, especially within the Northern Bank. We fence Nigeria. We have money to do all of this in the interest of ourselves. Like if you go to the western, to the southern part, at least we have oceans, rivers there that will not allow anybody to just enter into the country.
Yeah.
But within this northern part, until we face it, we cannot have total control. We have immigrations at the border side, but they are not in the bush. And the bushes are not fenced. So these foreigners just jump in, they come in as they like.
As they please.
The way they want. You understand? Immigrations are there at the borders line. They have roads where they stand. But the other part of the bushes, who is managing that place? Nobody. And that is the areas where they come in through.
And so for you, fencing will really go a long way.
Fencing will help Nigeria a lot.
Maybe the outlay.
Yes, the Minister of Interior is trying his best by initiating this electronic registration. But how many of these people will come for that registration? Those who have this bad attitude mind, negative mind towards the country, that are not coming for business, they are not coming for normal thing, they are coming for the negative. They go through the bush. And the Air Force, they cannot be on air every time.
Correct.
They cannot be on air every time. So, it's like the caller said, until we do something to resolving this crisis, it will overrun us. And it's almost,
we pray it doesn't.
It's almost getting to that point, because as it is now, no bush in any state now that you cannot find terrorists inside. No bush.
I think we must. Okay, let's take this call. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good morning. I'm calling from Benue State. I am Philip Igbam.
Philip Igbam, you're welcome. Let's have you quickly.
Yes. My challenge is that it's the same thing the other partner is saying. In fact, the problem of insecurity, people are politicizing it. So if we do not want to politicize it, we will end up even within a twinkle of an eye. There are people, most of our people, they want to practice autocracy because their problem is to embezzle money. And some of them, in fact, Nigeria is practicing autocracy.
All right. We're practicing autocracy.
I heard the man in the studio saying that if they send Nigeria, don't we have a control room in our various security?
Yeah. But clearly, fencing will also
if they want to end this one day, it will end.
All right, Philip.
So let them take care, because the killings are going on daily basis. There is no day that will not count killings in Benue State. Even this morning, they attack people.
That's rather unfortunate.
On daily basis. So when shall they keep this men? And when shall they get out of this nonsense?
All right, Philip, thank you very much for calling. Yeah, people are truly, really concerned. But again, I think that it's important for us to also talk about the wins. One of those reports said that 13,000, over 13,000 actually, 13,000 terrorists have been killed in the space of 2 years. And some of them leaders and some of them foot soldiers of the terrorists and all that. I think that we also need to publicize that. And I think there's one piece also here that says that 9 jet fighters have just been added to the fleet. Although, even as you say that, you can begin to ask again, was there not a time that the Buhari regime said they were expecting Tucano jets?
But Tucanos, nobody knows where they are.
Right now,
nobody knows where they are.
What effect has it?
They said
how has it helped our fight? But at the same time, I know that the Nigerian military is very capable and is able to overturn the tide. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Tell us your name and your location and go straight to the point.
Yes, my name is Adiku Samuel.
Adiku. That's Anya.
Okay, I'm calling from Benue.
Yes, sure.
See, one of the problems that we refuse to look at it. A crop production farmers cannot cohabit with a livestock farmer. So there should be a total separation.
Because one eats the products of the other.
Yes. And the crop production, that's what they survive. That is what they feed their family. That is what their major income. So there's no way that the livestock farmer can cohabit with the crop production farmers. It's not done. And the implication is that the food insecurity is going to resulting to crime. Now the youth that's supposed to be in the village to even go into crop production, they're in the town carrying all manner of menial jobs, housekeeping, Okada and the rest. So if there's no separation between the crop production farmers and the livestock farmers, this insecurity can never be arrested. Somebody will grow a maize overnight, somebody will bring his livestock and come and eat it up. Where will he start from?
For free. It's not as if it's paid for.
Free.
honestly, I think that something really needs to be done in this regard. Thank you very much for calling, Adiku. Thank you. Yeah. So
I align myself with you.
Honestly,
and especially now that this period is a farming period. Now that the attack is going on in Benue State, you will see that next year
production will be, harvest.
There will be no, yes, if harvest will be very low and price of food product will be so high.
Yeah.
And if it continues that way, it's a problem. Food crisis is going to overrun us in this country. And now they have stopped importation of food items into the country. And if we cannot produce locally,
so how do we
have meet the demand of our citizens?
Well, at this point, we're going to ask my guest for his closing final thoughts in a minute, so that we can we can round up this session. Oh no. Let's see if this person can spend 30 seconds. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
I want to commemorate especially the statement that the last caller just made.
Okay.
You see, even the animals, they need this farm product.
All right, so what's your name first?
I'm calling, so I just made call.
Okay, go on.
Yes. Please, please. I don't know whether this program, even from the National Assembly and the House of the President, they are watching it.
Yes, of course.
We are in pains in Benue. We are really in pains. If something is not done this year, before the farming season elapses, then the food crisis will be much.
Okay, that's it, Collins. So let's have your.
Well, just like the callers are saying, the same thing across Nigeria, the same problem. What is there that my own advice to our leaders is that they should put politics aside and look for a way to fix the problem that is overrunning the country presently. That is problem of insecurity.
Yeah.
This insecurity will cause us serious harm. Like the caller said, in Benue State, we are food basket of the nation. And if we cannot produce this food to feed the nation, it's a problem. And no part of Benue State, including the 23 local government that is free from terrorist attack now. They have taken over almost everywhere. So government, they should put politics aside. Now people going to harvest people from another political party to join in their party against 2027. That politics should be set aside. They should face governance. Nigeria's life is at stake. We are not safe. Educational wise, nothing is happening. Food sector, agri, nothing is happening. Health sector, nothing is happening. They should put politics aside and face governance for the citizens to breathe.
Prioritize governance. That's what my guest says. Prioritize governance over politics. This is not the time to do politics. This is the time to give the people good governance. And here we will be resting the program for today. My name is Dayo Omogun, and I'm very thankful to you for being out there, tuned to our station. Please do continue to do this, because this is the TV to beat. This is the TV station to beat in Nigeria. That is the numero uno. And I really want to say thank you, Dr. Richard.
My pleasure.
Oriri. Thank you for always making yourself available when we call. Thank you so very much. I hope that very soon the callers who are so much enamored of you, they'll put something together and organize an award ceremony for it. All right. We are here to serve again. I hope that you go into politics, and we have to go now. And tomorrow is another day, and someone else will also anchor the program. Please just generally stay tuned to KAFTAN TV. I'll be here by 2 again for the polity, and we'll be talking about something that's trending, and you will be enlightened, you'll be educated, and there's humor. It's a complete package. Please do return at 2. For now, it's bye-bye from me, Dayo Omogun.